What's cracking, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid-techno. We're back with a tune from the early aughties, so the sort of the middle period after the sort of golden days of acid-techno, but before what I might call like the modern period, which I would say sort of coincides with the sort of rebirth or renaissance of interest in vinyl, which I'd say was like 08, 09 when that started. But yeah, this is from sort of the middle period. This is from '03. Now this is a tune from Acid and Dynamic Intervention. Acid still has shown up on some Stay Up Forever labels in recent times, as well as coming back with his own label, Acid Test. But yeah, this is a tune. There was a few labels that he and some fellow producers, you know, like Cyber Steve and what was the... Oh, there's another guy that he produced a lot of tunes with, but also Dynamic Intervention, Mick Cree. But yeah, like I said, it's Acid Test, Akid Traxx, like the tune here, as well as, oh, there was another label where they released stuff as the Pranksters. I'm blanking on what it is right now, but bottom line, on all these labels, these group of artists had a sound that I would characterize as a hybrid between like straight up London acid techno and a bit of the hard house sound, which was very popular in the late 90s into the early 2000s. As I mentioned, I was very much into that sound, and my first phase of DJing at like actual parties, where I played a couple dozen parties from like late 99 to like '03. A lot of sets I played during those years, because a lot of the people who booked me to play were technically throwing like trance parties. So I'd play a mixture of like acid trance, hard trance, and indeed hard house. So you would hear both Hoovers and acid work in my sets. The labels that these guys were part of and ran, they're very much in that vein. So they kind of combine the acid and the Hoover or hard house sound. So this tune is maybe one of the most famous from all of the labels that I mentioned. At least, you know, I certainly remembered it and got it a couple years later. I think I got it like '07, '08 or something. It was on Discogs. But yeah, I know other people remembered it because a friend of mine, Chuchek, has actually remixed it in recent times, which I reacted to on my old channel, but I'm going to do a new reaction to that once I finish this. So with no further ado, let's get to it. This is Akid Traxx number 9. Akid Traxx 9, Acid Ted with Dynamic Intervention. Pressure is the name of the tune, and this is '03. And once again, shout out to the excellent label Akid Traxx. I have a few of them. They're all quality. So here we go. Is it this side? No, it's the logo side. So here we go. Pressure, Acid Ted, and Dynamic Intervention '03 on Akid Traxx 9. I think it's 45. If it starts crazy fast, I will adjust. I like that sort of metallic, rattly, percussive. The kick drum is, you know, it's not the most thunderous ever, but it's not light and soft either. It's a nice, like, the sort of middle range of the power scale. And again, maybe the bass line is, at this point it's sort of subtle, but I think the percussion is where I hear the blend of acid techno and hard house. A lot of that, you know, the main acid riff when it comes, it's, you know, it's bright, it's London acid techno, but the percussion, I feel the hybrid sound. Bass line get a little bit more insistent. The proper bass. So that sound, that sort of like washed out, almost like alarm sound, that one of the characteristics of this track that I always remembered and enjoyed, and so when Chuchek remixed it, I knew I was going to hear it, and it's one of the first things you hear. Yeah. jacked up fragmented synth line. Wait for this. There's a metallic acid riff coming in. But first a little buzz. There it is. It's like bandsaw acid. It sounds very like sharp and like razor thin, like. That sample, also another element that you remember, right? Now the bandsaw, like, fully spinning. And there's like an electricity, like a buzzing, like energy to the whole tune. Like bristling with electricity. You can hear it along with this new wind sort of tension-inducing sound. And again, this synth riff, I feel like you can feel the hard trance, hard house vibes a little bit with that too. I do like that cyclone, rising wind, intense sound. So we're gonna get the drop. We're gonna go, I think it's a 64. We're going to get another flash of the sample pressure, and then that acid bandsaw is going to like cut right into the gray matter of your brain, and yet you will welcome it. It's there, but just wait. Gearing up. But it gets its own moment, it gets its own acid ride out, man. Ride that acid out. Cymbals are nice. Again, I was younger, I was always focusing on the acid, but I didn't notice so much the little percussive elements jumping in, jumping out, combining with each other. I hear that a lot more now. Pressure. The low end, the bass standing out again on the way out. And again, if you're mixing out out. By this point, hopefully you're well into the intro of your new tune. Maybe the bass line has already come in, but you still can double drop, a fresh shot, just layered over your incoming track, as well as that. Brilliant. Again, like, I think maybe the Acid Test label from Acid Ted is slightly more like, we'll let it finish. I think it's slightly more renowned and like fondly recalled, and indeed I have several of the Acid Test label, not to be confused with the German Acid Test label, which was about acid trance in the 90s. But yeah, I have One Consciousness and a number of other tunes on Acid Test, and it's a great label. But of all the labels they were on, including the one other one that I'm sort of failing to remember the name of the imprint, as I said, I think they released tracks under the name The Pranksters on that one. Nevertheless, I do think this is my favorite of all of them, which again, when Chuchek remixed it, it was like, yes, like I'm glad someone else remembers that tune for how great it was. So that's what I'm going to do next time. Hopefully you're here for it. Let me know if you are. Let me know if you enjoyed that. Thank you for listening and watching. I will see you next time. Peace.